Evan Neal has been putting in that work in the offseason to try to get better after an underwhelming rookie season. We drafted Evan Neal with the number 7 overall pick, and we expected him to be a great right tackle coming out of the gate, but he struggled. As every other rookie does, he did struggle for a little bit, and everyone was waiting for that turnaround, and it kind of just never really happened. So we're going to be diving into Evan Neal and what he can do better, what are some of the things that he's looking to change. And this offseason, he's already been putting in work with a lot of different vets, trying to stack up on that knowledge and try to see what he can do to be better and fix his game, because in college, he was a beast. He was a beast at Alabama. So one of the big things that Evan Neal was at Alabama, people tend to forget, because at the end of the day, not everybody watches college football, not everybody's focused on what you did previously. Evan Neal was a left tackle in college. I don't think people focus on that. Evan Neal was not a right tackle when he was playing at Alabama. He did show that versatility here and there, but ultimately, the previous season before coming out in the NFL, he was a left tackle, and he was a shutdown left tackle. So it's very different when you switch to the other side and you're pushing off your left leg versus your right leg. And that's something that Willie Anderson brought up. He was working Willie Anderson, an all-pro right tackle, and something that Willie Anderson didn't do was allow a sack over 3 years. No sacks for 3 years straight. That's pretty nuts. That's pretty crazy. We can only dream that Evan Neal has that. But even Willie Anderson said that he thinks that he's going to be dominant in his career. It's still very early, and one of the biggest things that we saw Evan Neal this past season was he wasn't getting out of his stance. Like, literally, guys were beating him around the edge. It wasn't really the guys that were bull rushing him. You didn't see that type of struggle, because when it comes to his strength, he's there. It was mainly his speed and allowing guys to get around the corner on him. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal, because we have guys like Chase Young in our division, which, he might be overrated at this point, but Chase Young in our division. We have guys on the Eagles. So many different versatile players on the Eagles defense. Micah Parsons and also DeMarcus Lawrence. They were going crazy against Evan Neal. And it's just purely based on their speed. They're able to get around the corner on him and kind of put him in a position where they can take him however they want. Once he gets leaning on the back of his heels, Evan Neal's probably going down, and so is Daniel Jones, man. But a big thing on why Evan Neal should be able to turn it around is because he already switched up his stance. He used to start off a little lower. He used to start off a little bit closer to the ground. So when he's trying to come up in that pass pro set, he took forever. Like, it was ridiculously slow, and that's why guys beat him around the corner. So they already changed up his stance a little bit. I'll be intrigued to see if they really carried that out through the regular season. Hopefully they should. But this is all just from meeting Willie Anderson in a summer event. Like, I just don't understand why they couldn't do this in the midseason. Probably you don't want to do too many things and change too many things when it comes to the regular season. But if this turns out to be a big move for Evan Neal, I wish it came sooner, because we definitely could have used it in the playoffs. We definitely could have used it in those last couple games in the regular season. But ultimately, starting off more upright allows him to already be up in his stance and be ready for anybody that's coming at him. Once again, it should allow guys like DeMarcus Lawrence to have a little bit more of a fight coming around that corner. He should be more ready for cases like that. Another guy that he was working with was Teron Armstead, who is on the Dolphins at this point, but he was an all-pro with the Saints as well. Teron Armstead is also a great right tackle, and I just love that Evan Neal is going to the guys that are really good at that position. They have no gripes with helping this man out. He's a young rookie coming into this league, now going into his second year. He needs some help, and they're all offering the help to him, so I appreciate that. And honestly, that's most notable to me is the fact that Evan Neal is not afraid to put his pride aside, go ahead and get some help and try to be better, because he wants to be great. You could see him wanting to be great. And another big thing for Evan Neal, after continuously working with these other guys, trying to soak up as much knowledge as he can, this guy looks a lot more toned and a lot more muscular. I don't know if it's just me. I think he got rid of some of that fat that he had this previous season, some of that extra weight that he didn't need to carry, and he looks a lot more toned and lean. Evan Neal is going to have to block some big dudes, so I don't think he's getting too lean to the point where that's going to give him a problem, but all I know is that he should be a little quicker out of that stance, because once again, the biggest thing was him getting out of his stance. Once he put his hands on you, everything was not that bad. It really wasn't that bad once he was able to put his hands on him. But the point is that he was always missing getting to that spot and also missing that punch and allowing people to get around him. So Evan Neal putting in that work, I think he's in store for a really good season, and that would be huge for the Giants, because once again, Andrew Thomas on that left side is already solidified. Another good thing about trying to get a good right tackle, and even if we don't have the greatest right tackle in the world, that's the front side for DJ. DJ can see some of that and hopefully evade a lot of those sacks, even though it didn't help too much this past season. But I definitely think that obviously we want a lockdown left tackle, in which we have with Andrew Thomas. Then we need Evan Neal to come around, and we have 2 bookend tackles for the next 10 years. because best believe Andrew Thomas is getting a contract, and hopefully Evan Neal can turn it around and we can give him a contract as well. I'm really focused on the interior, man, and that's one of the biggest reasons that I think the Giants need to continue to address the interior, adding John Michael Schmitz, adding more guys at the guard position to try to see if we can get a little better when it comes to pass protection, because in the run, hey, we had a top 5 rushing offense this past season. I'm not worried about the run. I'm worried about Daniel Jones, who we just gave all this money to, going into his drop back, not having guys in his lap already. So I definitely think that we're on the way to that. Evan Neal is one of the big pieces on allowing us to have that freedom. And I think he's in store for a big season. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments. Another thing I want to touch on the Giants news, man, Saquon Barkley was working out with a couple people that we know, a couple of Giants players. And obviously, at this time, Saquon Barkley is not signed to an extension. He didn't sign the franchise tag. So it's still up in the air for Saquon, but the video went viral for him squatting almost 600 pounds barefoot. Everyone's making a big deal of him being barefoot, but I just want you to know, if you're in the gym, you know that people like to deadlift and squat barefoot. Why? Because they have more feel of the ground. It also gives them less leeway for like a shoe to like bend this way or turn that way. I'm not a pro lifter or anything, but I just remember when I was lifting in my heyday in high school, and even now, you just see a lot of people that are wearing just socks or wearing barefoot. So that's why Saquon Barkley is doing that. But repping like 580 4 times, pretty nuts. I'm not going to hold you. It's pretty crazy. But in that video, Paris Campbell is actually spotting him. So what does that mean? He's out there with our squad, practicing with them continuously, because people think that Saquon Barkley is really not going to be back with the Giants. I really think he is, and even if they don't reach a contract extension, he's going to go ahead and take that franchise tag and play into this season. I just don't see him in any other uniform, and I don't see him not playing this upcoming season, because that's just a waste of one of his early years as a running back, knowing that you don't know what next year is promised. You don't know what's going to happen next year. So Saquon Barkley working out with Paris Campbell. You also seen Isaiah Hodgins squatting over there. And Daniel Jones is the one that's organizing all of this. I heard a lot of people when I made that last video, Daniel Jones is not as great as a leader as Jalen Hurts. How can you say that? Like, how can you truly say that and think that Daniel Jones is not as good of a leader? This is about the 3rd or 4th season in a row that he brings guys together in the offseason, trying to put that work in and try to build a better rapport with every single person. And it looks like this is probably the 2nd or 3rd time he did this offseason. You've seen it when it was in Arizona with Darren Waller first coming out with the Giants and all those other guys being there. And now you're seeing it now with them working out, and I believe in North Carolina. So very intriguing to see. I love to see it, man. I love to see everybody together. But once again, having Saquon Barkley around them only means that Saquon's probably going to be around us even more. So what I think in my heart of hearts, y'all let me know down in the comments, man. But if you like this content, please like it up, subscribe. Also, road to 10K still active, man. Training camp was already announced. They already have tickets available. So you guys that live in New York and that can make it, I hope you guys can make it. I live in Florida, so I will not be there, but I wish I could. They already have some events that are open for free. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, man. If you get any training camp footage, any training camp photos, be sure to hit me up on my Instagram, on my Twitter, the Juke _ on everything. And I'm hoping to see y'all there, man. I'm not going to be there once again, but hopefully y'all get some good content. Got more videos to the left right here, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.